How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Engine House. I'm your host, Gandy Dancer. I got a little Scott Joplin going in the background, and I've got a old 1950s Lionel Plasticville train station here. I'll get into the train stuff here in a little bit. I've been a little AWOL from the channel for a while, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, especially to some of you military guys out there, regardless of what conflict you were in, if you were in one. I wanted to discuss a few things about PTSD. I've been dealing with that for the last couple of weeks. Stress can bring it on. There's a lot of things that can trigger it. Well, it's my channel, so I kind of figured I would put this out here. There may be some people, it's not railroad related, but the way I look at it is if I help one veteran, it's worth it. So I have mentioned in the past, and of course there's a picture up here of the Yosemite, which is an old destroyer tender that I was on. It was my first command many years ago, back in the early 80s. I spent a total of about 10 years on active duty and got out due to unforeseen circumstances. Anyway, years later, after 9/11, of course, I went back to see if they would take me back, because they needed people. And because of my prior service, the Navy took me, only this time, because of my truck driving experience, they turned me into a CB. And I got to go over and play in the Persian Gulf for 9 months, and then spent another 7 months in Balboa Naval Hospital. And as a result, I am 100% disabled. One of the things I am dealing with there from that lovely conflict is, of course, PTSD. And again, as I said earlier, a lot of things can trigger it. Stress is one of the biggest triggers, and it brings on feelings of and depression and whatnot. One of the things I wanted to talk about was that we are, as guys, we don't like to ask for help. We are told since we are little that men don't cry. Men are tough. We walk it off. We this, we that. I was told the same thing. And then they send a bunch of us young guys, or of course I wasn't so young then, I was in my 40s, but they send you off to war, and you deal with things that no person in their right mind should have to deal with. And you come back, and of course you don't know how to handle it. At the time after the war, after even during Afghanistan was still going on, Iraq was still kind of a thing. We were losing at that time 22 veterans a day to suicide. These guys couldn't handle it anymore. They didn't know who to turn to. They thought it would be unmanly to turn to somebody for help, because we've been told all our lives, walk it off, men don't cry, be tough, this and that. And I was almost one of those statistics. And then I, because of my wife and friends and my son, I turned and got help. I went to counseling for 3 years. I would still be going, except we moved, and I haven't been able to set up with a counselor here. I found ways to deal with it, but even still, there are things that will set me back and have me in that downward spiral. I have found that I do what I can to stay busy. I haven't done any filming. I've done some things here on the layout. I haven't done any filming because basically I didn't want to put this out for, I didn't want people to see, or hear basically what was going on. But I decided that if I can even reach out to one veteran out there, it doesn't matter the conflict of Vietnam, Korea, the first Gulf War, Afghanistan, Iraq, any of the little minor skirmishes we've been in the last 30 years and earlier. If I can even reach out and connect with somebody and prevent them from becoming a statistic, I feel it's worth it. So I am using kind of my bully pulpit here for what it's worth, in my channel to say to you veterans out there, and you know who you are. It is not unmanly to ask for help. What is unmanly? Is to end your life and leave your loved ones behind. It is not unmanly to cry. God knows those of us who were overseas had seen it enough. There's nothing wrong with it. This is something you're not going to walk off. It's not something you can man up about. It is what it is. You can't unsee this stuff. You can't unfeel it. It's not going to go away. You can mitigate it with counseling, which is what I was doing. So this is what you need to do, is to, there are some, reach out to your VFW, reach out to your veterans advocate, reach out to another veteran, somebody who was there, talk, reach out to services that will help you connect. And I know we don't talk about it, a lot of stuff, to people outside of the military. That's another fault we have, because most civilians don't understand. A good counselor doesn't have to understand. They will help you find what is going to work for you. They will never tell you they understand. They give you the tools to move forward, no matter how long it takes. You take the steps. It's like anything else. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous. You're taking the steps. You're doing this with a counselor who listens and helps you gain the tools that you need to be able to put things in perspective, help you when you are having an episode where, you are at rock bottom, and you want to end it all. These are things that a counselor will help you to avoid you becoming a statistic. As I said, I was almost a statistic myself. And because of my wife and my family, I went and sought help. Now, there is, of course, this is something you and I will live with for the rest of our lives. So we have to learn to cope with it. It will not go away. We have to find a way to move through it in such a way that it will not destroy us. And I know it's cliche. There are people who say, well, you're living for the ones who didn't come home. And I know that's difficult to digest. You get the why me, why did they, why did you can why it to death, and you can lose yourself in alcohol and drugs, and it's not, the problem doesn't go away. So basically, the last few weeks I've been dealing with at a low, and because of the skills I was given and learned from the counselor that I had, I was able to sort of, I mean, I'm still not 100% back to where I was prior to, but I am able to function now. I have learned a couple of things, was to keep my mind active. So I built this. I've worked on the layout. I have done anything to keep my mind as active as I can, to keep it from going deeper down that hole. Okay. So I'm just wanting to say, I know it isn't really railroad related, and there's probably going to be some of you out there that are going to go, what the hell is this guy doing? But if I can at least reach out and touch one veteran who may be on the edge, to me, that's worth it. Okay. Every life has meaning. Every life has purpose. And I know you've heard this, and you've heard it time and time again. And you probably really don't want to hear it from me, but it's the truth. Okay. It is not unmanly to turn and ask for help. We are human. We have emotions. We have feelings. We have, thoughts, and we have, things that go on in our heads, and we can't deal with some of these things without help. So there is no help, fear and shame in turning and asking for help. It's the smart thing to do. You don't want to become a statistic, okay? Nothing is that bad. It is not that bad. Step back from the edge, seek help, reach out to somebody another veteran, reach out to somebody like myself who has gotten help. Let us help you to find your way back to some semblance of normalcy. Okay. This is an important thing to me, and it is something that I feel very strongly about. So that's why I decided that once I climbed back out of my own hole, I would shoot this video. And here in a second or two, I will get to some of this stuff. I will pause this, and I will show you some of the things I've done, and to try and stay busy. And then I will close this video out, and it will go out there. If you are a veteran and you've watched this and you don't know, reach out to me, even leave me a comment on the video. I would be more than willing and more than happy to reach out and help you myself, if that's what it takes, and help put you in the right headspace and get you on the road to recovery. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. And then I will now I will go ahead and pause this, and then we will go about the layout a bit, and I will explain some of what I've done and what's going to happen next, and we'll go from there. Okay? All right, stand by for the next one. Okay, well, this is what I've been doing here to stay busy. This is the start of a mountain. I know it doesn't look like much. It's foam. And there'll be plaster of Paris, and there'll be some carving and whatnot on there. There's going to be a small pond right up here with a river running down. And there's another set of tracks that will be coming through here and going that way through there. And then there'll be a bridge over the river here, and then a bridge, this bridge, of course. This is the one that came with the wife's dad's set. This is going to be here. And you can see I've kind of started laying some track to figure out where it's going to go. I decided to use the old style. I'm going to get some ties to put under these and make them look a little better. Anyway, there's going to be more. You can see this goes through here. And then, of course, you can see I kind of built a separator here. This will be done up with plaster of Paris and sculpt mold, and I'll get into that in a minute. And so there's that. And the other side isn't all that great. I tried to do a thunder head over here, and if I could get a higher, and of course you can see a dragon here in the corner. My layout, of course, will be a little bit of fantasy and whatnot. This is the city side. There'll be buildings down here to kind of cover up where the trains come out, which is why it's painted, and there's a line here that goes, that's the low as I wanted to go with the Thunderhead. And of course over here, the other set of tracks, this set will come through there and come around here, and there will be industry over here. This here will be, okay, well, let me go back up a little bit here. This is my HO kit bash of Gruesome Cannery. That kit on there is two kits. I kit bashed to make one. It was an old 1970s kit called Gruesome Casket. There was a few variations of those buildings put out for different kits that I can't remember the name of the company, but anyway, they put out variations of the building, and I decided to call it Gruesome Cannery. And the other building is a building I had laying around. That is the old Gruesome Cannery building, and I have some pier work there, and there's some other things. I was going to do a lot more with it, and I moved on to Lionel. There's some of my other HO stuff that I'm hanging on to that's going to be going up here on these shelves for display. Anyway, getting back to this area will be the new Gruesome Cannery in O-scale. This is supposed to mimic concrete. This is one of Jason Jensen's tricks, is to paint this cocoon and then some gray over it. It's not really, I'm not really happy with it, but we'll do something with it. And of course the lines in it for the seams where the concrete was poured, and there'll be pilings here. And then over here, I started a rock retaining wall. And I just picked these up at Family Dollar. I have 3 packages of these I picked up. They were like $1.50 a piece, a bag. I didn't think it was too bad. I think the other one's floating around here somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at right now. This is one bag. This is what's left of the other bag. There will be a seawall here, and one here, 2 here at this point. And then, of course, there'll be stuff covering up the edges of the layout. This will be ocean, resin, with a sandy, rocky bottom. And, of course, there'll be something here. And seeing it again, as I'm a little into fantasy and, odd stuff. The dragons, there's a couple of doll heads that, and they're a little freaky, that'll be going over here. That'll be called the headwaters. Headwaters. I have doll's feet that will be painted to look like granite, as the doll heads currently are, though I'm not satisfied with them. I'm going to do something else and make them look a little better, I hope. There'll be feet here. Right now, doll's feet. These are the foothills, of course, right? And I will be using some Sculptamold to make everything look. There's a cave here, of course, for something, and another one, of course, here, and a little one here. And there'll be something else going here to cover this up, and then something here to cover the edges. And anyway, I've got some switches. This is going to go here. There's going to be a siding comes through here for gruesome cannery to come to this one, and then of course another one here to go somewhere. I haven't quite decided yet where everything is going to go, but it'll eventually end up, and there'll be industry here with sidings or something. I will have it figured out. And this area over here, of course, is going to be all the rural area. The train station that's here is going to go over here, where the this line that I currently have laid is going to be freight, and the other one that will be coming through there and going that way through there will be passenger. So over here somewhere will be the station for this side, and there'll be another one over on the other side. And of course, this here, the plywood ends. The mountain will continue up to that point where this piece is here. It will be, there'll be a plywood backing, and then it will be, I'll use screen and Sculptamold to, or screen and plaster of Paris, the wraps that you use for casts, to make the mountains. Now to get back to Sculptamold, you can see I have some egg crates here. I have a blender here. There was a young man online, and I'll have to find his site. I saved it, who has 5 different ways to make Sculptamold out of products you already have at home. And one of those is, of course, you take these cardboard. They are like a fiber cardboard, and you cut them up in little pieces, throw them in a blender, blend them up kind of fine, and you use plaster of Paris, and you can make your own Sculptamold. That was one of his ways. Well, we go through a lot of eggs, so I started grabbing these, and here shortly I'll be getting some plaster of Paris, and when I get going again on these mountains, I'm going to see how well that works. And I may shoot video of me making it. These blenders can get rather loud, so I don't know. You may see the end product when I've done grinding them up. I picked this blender up, as a matter of fact, at a thrift store for $3, and it runs. So it's like, hey, that's a bargain in my book. So this is pretty much it. This is not the usual shop cat. This is our older cat, and she's down here today. I don't know where my shop kitty's at. This one is Mouse. Her name is Mouse. Odd name for a cat, but her original name was Mouser. She was supposed to be the one to catch mice, and we just shortened it to Mouse. And she likes to come down here occasionally, and of course sleep somewhere over in the middle of the layout. So, you know, as does the other one. So anyway, I will let you folks go. That is kind of what's going on, and my thoughts. And stick by as I climb out of this, funk. I'll be shooting some more videos and carving some stuff over here and doing the Sculptamold. There's some more foam that's got to go down over here, similar to what I've done here. So it kind of slopes. These are the foothills. They're hills. They're not mountains. The mountain starts above where the pool is going to be. It starts kind of right there, and it will go up, and it will be go to here, and it will be the mountain looking thing. And then of course I'll have to get tunnel entrances for this side, and I'll have to scratch build one probably for over there. We'll see. And I was going to do something with the back wall, but you know, I'm going to just leave it for now. Later on, maybe I'll put something back here so high up underneath the pictures or something and paint it to match the sky or something. I don't know. I really want to get trains running and have some more fun with working on some of these coaches and things. You can see there's my to be worked on pile over here now. And of course, what I have over here, mostly these, the wheels need to be dealt with. The trucks, they need to be lubricated. You put these on the tracks and this thing will roll about 6 inches maybe without, you can see how much it rolls. Let's make sure it's on there. See? So pulling those with a locomotive would be rather difficult. Just to make sure you saw that, make sure that is all the way on. We'll start here, and I can probably, still didn't go that far. And some of these go even less. These passenger cars here only go about 3 inches and stop. So I'll be lubricating trucks and wheels and axles and all that stuff. And some of these I did. That one's been done. One of these two has been done. This caboose has been done. That was the wife's dad's set with those. I did those initially to show everybody in my wife's family that they were now working. The rest of these, of course, are in line to be serviced. And as I get there, and you can also see I need to clean the floor here. It's a mess. It's always something. Anyway, that's it for now. I may, again, shoot some more video later. We'll see what happens. I hope you enjoy, and bye for now.